Ice cream is a brutal business. Before you can even think about selling a single scoop, you have to conquer the expensive, unforgiving physics of the cold chain. Maintaining a constant state of freezing requires immense upfront capital. In the 1970s, established urban heavyweights like Quality and Joy dominated Chennai's retail real estate using a simple, expensive tactic. They gave costly deep freezers to shopkeepers for free, effectively locking competitors out of the best locations. This chart illustrates the financial reality faced by a 21-year-old entrepreneur named R.G. Chandramogan. He wanted to enter the market with a tiny team of 3 people, 6 tricycles, and a starting capital of roughly 13,000 rupees, barely a fraction of what a standard industrial freezer and factory footprint would cost. The initial operation was incredibly fragile. A single miscalculated decision to relocate his production base to a less accessible area early on caused his existing clientele to evaporate, instantly draining his capital and nearly bankrupting the company overnight. At the time, roughly 4,000 other small-scale ice cream ventures eventually collapsed. Fighting well-funded giants head-to-head under these conditions meant certain death. To survive, Chandramogan had to stop playing the game the incumbents had designed. He needed to find a completely different way to distribute ice cream. His first workaround was simple. He looked for a customer base that already owned the most expensive part of the supply chain. He found them anchored at the Chennai harbor. Ocean-going vessels and ship chandlers had their own massive onboard cold storage, eliminating the manufacturer's need to provide equipment at the point of sale. He also targeted college-hostile messes, a demographic eager to experiment and largely indifferent to premium labels. By focusing strictly on reliable delivery timelines and product quality, his brand, Arun Icecreams, quietly captured an estimated 95% of these institutional markets by 1974. They secured steady volume without purchasing a single retail freezer. With a foothold established, Chandramogan turned to his second major workaround, bypassing urban retail monopolies entirely through geographic arbitrage. He took the product deep into interior districts and Mofussil towns with populations as low as 30,000. By marketing it with the tagline, "Fresh ice cream from Madras," Arun turned its metropolitan origin into an aspirational luxury for consumers who were deemed unprofitable by the national giants. Deliberately ignoring the largest, most visible urban markets meant that by the time Arun was ready to challenge the legacy brands back in Chennai, they had already built a highly profitable, cash-generating monopoly across the rest of Tamil Nadu. But by 1981, retail growth hit a ceiling. To scale any further across the state, the traditional retail rules insisted that Arun would finally have to start buying and maintaining freezers in third-party shops. Instead of taking on that massive expense, Chandramogan pioneered the exclusive franchise ice cream parlor in India. This flowchart breaks down the financial logic of the parlor model. Arun radically redistributed the risk. The franchisee invested their own capital for real estate and freezer equipment. In return, Arun provided the brand, product, and logistical expertise. The company's recruitment strategy for these operators was highly unconventional. Chandramogan specifically preferred individuals in their late 20s who have previously failed in business. He theorized that a prior failure breeds a unique hunger. These operators possessed a deep personal commitment to proving themselves, which translated directly into superior operational management on the floor. To ensure consistency across hundreds of independent parlors, the company enforced strict quality protocols. Franchisees were required to sell only pre-packed, factory-sealed units, with the price clearly marked, preventing any arbitrary overcharging. By offloading the capital expenditure to these hungry local operators, Arun expanded rapidly. By 1985, they were the largest ice cream manufacturer in Tamil Nadu by volume, achieving that dominance without crushing their own balance sheet. There was one final bottleneck left. To achieve ultimate cost and quality leadership, they had to control the exact raw material going into the vats, bypassing the bulk milk vendors entirely. In 1986, the firm reconstituted as Hatsun Agro Product Limited. They built a sprawling procurement network that now purchases milk directly from over 400,000 farmers. Securing the supply chain directly from the source allowed them to maintain a rich 12% minimum fat content while eliminating middleman markups. Today, that integrated dairy empire generates over 8,600 crore rupees in annual revenue. They process that raw material using state-of-the-art imported back-to-fugue technology to remove bacteria more effectively than standard pasteurization. But retail is shifting again. The rapid rise of quick commerce apps and 10-minute delivery platforms threatens traditional physical storefronts. Yet, Arum's legacy network of over 2,300 local franchise parlors is uniquely positioned. These locations can easily function as decentralized micro-warehouses for these exact delivery apps, turning a structural threat into an instant strategic advantage. Chandramogan built a multi-billion-dollar empire by redesigning the architecture of the dairy industry from the ground up. The Arun model succeeded because it distributed risk to the periphery and solved the financial math that competitors refused to touch.